Hey guys, so in the spirit of Halloween, me and James have decided to do an X thread to get your juices flowing if you want to decide to do a horror one-shot. This might have a wee bit of inspiration to you for spooky encounters.
I think you guys will enjoy this. It's something a bit different. Let's just get into this, will we?
Urban legends. In this thread, share local stories and urban legends that pop up around you at this time of year. Stories that would not be heard anywhere else. I live in a relatively small 200,000 people population. 200,000? That's massive for over here.
Yeah. I think that's bigger than Belfast, if I'll be honest with you.
Yeah. Shithole in Russia.
Oh, like, it adds up. It adds up.
Some years ago, maybe around 2015, 2017, during winter, a girl, I think, disappeared in a district north of where I live. I wouldn't know it, but they broadcasted this case on national television. There was even a private detective involved, as far as I remember. I didn't follow it too much, but I don't remember hearing about all this ever again. I know this directly pretty well since many friends of mine
Look, he's gushing.
used to live there. It's the most dirty, in all meanings, place in all town. A lot of junkies, wild teens and alcoholics live there. I was always creeped out when I was walking there at night, so God knows what the fuck happened.
So what I would do is I would spin this.
So Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago. But can we make, okay, see if you're making a bandit clip, can we just make them into gopniks?
Yeah. Oh my god, how terrifying would that be?
Can you just turn all bandits now into gopniks and make sure that like all instead of like lead bands or whatever, give them like the Adidas
stripes.
Give them like their stripes to like signify be like their gang sign.
Yes.
Definitely could apply. Yeah, she definitely.
And they just shout cheeky beak.
Yeah. No, this girl just.
Yeah. No.
She vanished into the ether, never to be seen again. Safe to say.
Growing up in my village, there's an old road that went past a small old cemetery, and now is long closed. It was said that if you drove on that road alone on a certain day and time of night, an apparition of a car accident victim who died there and was buried in that cemetery would sit in your passenger seat.
Ooh, I think you could really do something with the, that wandering spirit. Yeah, I think it's an easy quest. Anyone could pull that out of the bag. Oh, the crypts are disturbed. You need to return the MacGuffin to the place to do the thing, to get the thing done. You know
who done the Lost Soul very well in the Red Dead Redemption?
I didn't.
Red Dead Redemption. They had that man, and it was like a side quest. You kept bumping into him randomly.
Yeah.
But then it turns out he was a ghost all along and stuff. But I think that done the very wandering lost soul very well. There's one about a creature that stalks school bathrooms. It's supposedly half human, half demon, half male, half female. It drags kids who go to the bathroom alone and says its name down through the pipes.
That's just a mimic.
Yes,
that's a mimic. It's a mimic.
Remember the one in our school?
What one?
People shoved everyone into the year 8 toilets.
No, what happened?
And turned off the lights and got people. But it wasn't like Bloody Mary. It was something else in the mirror.
Why? What was it?
I don't know. And it was only came around Halloween. It was like, I don't know. I just remember being shit scared of it. But I get scared very easily.
And it was one of those ones where if you turned the lights off, it was pitch black. So it was.
Hawaii Anon here. I guess there's a few urban legends / folklore stories that I know of. Hawaii's bound to be riddled with them.
I don't know, I just can't find Hawaii to be a spooky place.
Not so much spooky, I think more spiritually.
Yeah, I could see that.
And stuff. Yeah. I just imagine it to be humming with folklore.
Somewhere that actually gives me the fucking heebie-jeebies. The
Wales?
East Islands.
Oh.
Wales too. Wales is fucking... Also, guys, if you've ever got the chance, just don't bother going to Wales. It is kind of weird, not going to lie. But the East Islands do really freak me out.
Yeah.
There's something really off-putting.
With them big fucking heats.
Yeah, and me and Megan were watching
that video.
That documentary where they walk them, and the way that they move them, tilt them side to side and walk them up.
I don't like it, guys.
It's really creepy.
Really don't like it. Anyway, back to the Hawaii Anon. First one is the Menehune.
Menhu?
Well, kind of pronounced like Menehune, from what I understand. They're kind of like Hawaiian gnomes. Oh god. They're said to be a group of small, mischievous people who live in the forests and shit. So leprechauns.
What the fuck is it with people that live on islands with gnomes? Ireland, you got your leprechauns. Fucking Iceland, you've got your fairies, is it? Or is it gnomes?
Fae. Yeah.
And now Hawaii has got them too.
Yeah. That's about all I can remember, but if you want to find out more info, just Google it. Same thing goes for the other stories I got. The second one is about the Night Marchers. They're said to be the dead spirits of ancient Hawaiians who, like their name says, march around at night. Supposedly you can hear the drum beat as they march. Accounts differ on what the right course of action is if you encounter them. Some people say to run away, others say to strip down naked and bow down to the ground so you don't offend them.
Wait, what you got? Wait, are they penis inspectors?
I think it's all more spiritual and stuff because, you know, the Hawaiians and stuff, it's all about like the nature around them, the mountains, the trees, the air, the sea and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can see that, but definitely penis inspection day.
Yeah. I watched Moana.
Yeah.
The third story takes place on the on the island of Ohano. There's basically a cliff road called the Pali, I guess. I'm not from Oahu, so I don't really know what the fuck I'm talking about. There's also a lot of different versions of this tale. From what I remember, if you have meat in your car while driving on the Pali, your car will break down unless you leave the meat on the road, I guess.
That's a good idea for thieving bastards.
Another version is a little more spooky, where if you have meat in your car while you drive, a white lady will appear in the backseat of your car and kill you. Some people say they just see the white lady on the side of the road. I don't really know what happens if you pull over or if you ignore her. Either way, meat in your car while driving on the Pali is a no-go. What if you needed to go shopping? What are you meant to do? Can you walk with it in bags?
Oh, I wouldn't be walking past this woman.
But is it just in your car though?
I think this Pali one it's a very generic one. Everyone knows of this. Like, you know, it's really big in India for some weird reason. I've seen millions of videos from like India where people driving along with like spooky stuff at the side of the road and then they all start screaming and shit. But I think you could easily add this to like a random encounter, like, you know, while traveling. Like, you know, oh, there's a weird woman just standing there. And if you want, you know, you can just keep going. But once you interact with her, then you're fucked. Maybe put in like a few riddles and like if you do this, then they can do that. Or maybe put in like some vampire shit where they're only allowed to come to you if you invite them. You know, like I think you can splice a few things together and make that work.
Kind of like the statues from Neverending Story, but with riddles.
Yeah, definitely.
Here in North Alabama, near the dam on the Tennessee River, divers who work on the dam say they've seen catfish big enough to swallow a man whole. I know a few divers who refuse to work on the dam ever again because of what they've seen. It's not just divers. Fishermen saying something massive instantly snapping their lines or pulling their big fishing boat upstream like it was nothing. Also, many people have spotted a massive black cat in Bankhead National Forest. I talked with a couple who owns a farm out there saying that their chickens were killed by this thing. They showed me the best pictures they had. Feathers everywhere and a massive hole in the roof of the coop. Here's the thing. Though the coop was about 20 feet tall, a coyote wouldn't be able to get up there. There are a bunch more of these stories I hear about most often when speaking with folks around my favourite bars. Of course, you always run into the mentals of bars.
Oh, but you do get to, I love see boomers in bars, so they're the most fun though.
But there is been a lot of pictures in like Great Britain of big cats. Like big,
people get lists and stuff.
Was it only in like the 80s or the 90s? I can't remember that the law passed that you couldn't own exotic animals.
Yeah. So
people just released them into the wild. So there could be like panthers and whatever else.
And it's well known in America to have exotic animals. Like there's more. I believe the last time I checked, there was more tigers living in America in captivity than there are in the wild.
Yeah.
Makes sense though. I do see that, and I do think, like, you know, exotic animals getting out do play a big role in these, like, sort of sightings.
Yeah.
But honestly, catfish can be fucking huge. I buy into that to a certain extent because catfish are big fucking fish.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact requirements of what makes them grow so fucking big, though.
Yeah, but same with goldfish. If you put goldfish into somewhere that's massive, they'll grow massive. Yeah,
it's really weird how that turns out. But yeah, fuck catfish. They're really evil looking. I don't know. I don't like their wee like.
I don't think they're evil looking. I just think they look like they're from Alabama. Like, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, kind of does. We haven't shit on Americans in a while, actually.
No, we haven't.
We've been very good. Normally it's the Swedes we shit on.
Yeah.
We can shit on the Americans. No, well, we were shitting on the Russians earlier, so you know. Who do you guys want us to bully next? And remember, it's only people that are you're allowed to bully on Twitter. You can't, like, bully, like, anyone else.
Yeah, so, like, white males, guys.
yeah, you're only allowed to bully them, like, okay, guys?
White straight males.
Yeah, we can't...
Elon Musk, we're coming for you.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect opportunity.
Right, you slimy gets. As you know, we got all the gobble slaves hard at work keeping the printers tickety-boo. Some of them are even getting a bit sex-deprived and start making naughty models of their own.
Ooh.
But at the minute, we only paying them in bottles of water. But if you buy models from us, we'll be able to pay them 1 gold piece a week. That's proper good wages for gobbles of gat. But if big titty goblins aren't what you want, we got it all. We got dwarves, elves, illifids, demons, kobolds, all that, and even some of them ugly humies. But you can only get it on that www thing, neckbeardia.co something. I'll get one of the goblins to do it, they're more tech savvy than me. Also, we got more than just models. We got a lot of them subclasses and pre-made adventures too. Proper good that. We play it down Thursday night down the local tavern. We get a pint of grog and we sit down and play it. Big Morgie last week played as that crackhead monk, and he was actually quite good at it, seeing as he's not right in the head ever since the barmaid whacked him for smacking his tits. But, yeah, go over and check it out. That's all me. That's me, darling. See you bye.
She's known as the Caller. It's believed that she will call your name in the middle of the night and urge you to follow her voice until you reach a body of water, at which point she will drag you under, pushing water into every single hole into your body and drowning you. Every
what do you mean
single
pushing
hole?
Not up a deck? Okay, so what you want to do is you want to give... like
this kind of reminds me of La Lorena. I think that's how you pronounce it.
La Lorena. What are you talking about?
La Lorena. It's a Mexican, I think, folklore of a woman who you hear her crying because she went mental and drowned her kids at water, but if you follow her, she'll drown you. If you follow the crying to the river, she'll drown you in the river. This is kind of but more like West American.
Yeah, it does. Okay, so all you want to do is you want to give some form of monster control water and really make the most of it, like adapt that shit to control
up
water.
the ass.
Yeah, you want a jet power hose up the deck, and that's your monster.
The whistling. I've never talked to anyone about it, like really talked, but most have at least acknowledged it. There's not really a story regarding it that I know of, but on really quiet nights around the fall or winter months in my town, there's always whistling outside. Not from wind though. It's like an actual tune, but it's never a song that I recognise. And when those months do come, I swear it's every night with this bullshit. Sometimes it sounds like it's coming from the alley right behind my house, sometimes more distant, and it will go on for minutes on end before stopping. Just really weird, and I've heard from some people across the state who swear the same thing happens there. Is it just a thing some guys like to do? Go out in the dark of the night and whistle for no fucking reason?
Megan, tell your story about the guy whistling. You remember the guy whistling? Yeah, come on, let's tell the story.
I can't remember. Oh, on the window.
Right, okay, so we want to save all of our urban legends for the end of the video, but this one kind of relates to this one. I was just really fucking creepy.
Yeah, well, James was out.
I was working at the time. I was working till 11.
Yeah.
Megan finished work at 9. She came home.
We had just moved into the house, so I had just moved out from a ma's house. In the house, me, scaredy cat, in the house by myself. I went up into my bedroom, closed the door, and turned all the lights on.
Yeah.
And I was sitting in the bedroom, and all I heard from outside was... I went, what the fuck is that? What? So I went up and peeked through the blinds, and here this fella was directly facing me, 2 stories up, hanging out of his window, legs out.
Yeah, he was like sitting on the windowsill.
Sitting on the windowsill outside of the window on a 2nd story, just sitting there whistling.
How long did this went on for? Quite a while.
10-15 minutes of him just... And the next minute his mate came round the corner. It's like, fuck's sake, Steve, you're gonna fucking fall. And he's like, alright mate, alright mate, what about you? What about you? And you're right. And I'm like, oh fuck, he's on something, I don't want to look at it.
Yeah, drugs were definitely involved in the story at some point. Yeah, that's our weird whistling story. If something doesn't make sense, 99% of the time, it's got to do something with drugs. I'm going to put it out there. How would we turn this whistling into maybe there's a cursed town where everyone has to, oh, this would be great actually. What you want to do is the town has been cursed, right? And everyone can't talk anymore, but they can whistle.
Oh.
And you need to go and lift the curse. I don't know, it's a bit lighthearted for something spooky, but like, you know, like, I'm sure you guys are planning something spooky for your players.
It could be more like,
do you want to make it more malicious? Maybe more evil?
Like if you're playing a horror one, it could be like, once you hear the whistling, you know not to go outside, close your doors, turn off the lights, because they're hunting.
Oh yeah.
And you have to stay quiet.
You know what that is? That's Silent Hill the movie. Remember when the sirens go off?
Yes.
Megan's still terrified of the sound of our lead sirens.
Why are you revealing all my weaknesses in this video?
Tell me this time isn't...
Like, we just need to lie in bed at night in the pitch dark, and James just needs to go, Badaduk. And that's me up the whole fucking night. I can't. He can't even pronounce it, but yet I still get scared.
Honestly, I love that Badaduk movie was great, though. Apparently it's a gay icon now, I'm not even joking.
Yeah, LGBT warrior.
Yeah. Anyway, look guys, let's keep moving.
Where I live, it was rumoured that a black ambulance would abduct children and harvest their organs, with the children's bodies being discovered in abandoned fields a few days later with some money for a burial. I'm going to assume this guy is from Southeast Asia. This also sounds like something my mum would say to me to make sure I was home for sex. Oh yeah, that is exactly no wonder you're like this. Okay, look at my family, James. Yeah. Actually, you know what? We should tell some of the stories about your granda and whatnot. We've said the stories before, but we'll save them for the end. Yeah. They're good. You guys will love them. I went to a private Christian school from preschool up until 8th grade, and the students there had a sort of microculture of urban legends related to the school, which would be passed down by a way of older students trying to spook the new fags. What, is that always the way? I've never heard it being used in that context before. Each class added its own contributions to the oral history and their own marks in the physical environment, whether in the form of lore and hieroglyphics etched into the corners or on the bathroom walls, or forts constructed in the woods by the massive playground, which would be inherited and maintained by the next generation. A guy in the class above me who was moving away hid $100 somewhere in the school and left behind a series of clues to find it. The school itself was very old and large, the main building having served as a school of some kind or another for going on 100 years. Per an investigation by some kids from the yearbook club, although its early history was a little hazy. The library had yearbooks from some of the previous schools that had been there, and some of the older teachers knew about the before times. But for the most part, we were just impressionable LARPing kids letting our imaginations run wild in the perfect setting for spoop. I hate that word to occur. I think this guy just went to Hogwarts. Yes, fucking sounds like just it. This guy just went to Hogwarts. But I do, the worst thing is, I do find the idea of like a wizard in school, like an all-wizard party, wizard in school, to be the setting for an actual pretty fun mini campaign. Yeah. I do actually think that would be fun, but I just know I'd be laughed at. James is a Hufflepuff. Don't call me out like that. Everyone knows Hufflepuffs are fucking... Oh, I can't say it well. Never mind, guys. Let's just keep going. Life on a South American country is very spooky. This story is one that I always tell my friends, and to be quite honest here, it still makes me a bit scared when I'm alone at home. Long story short, where I lived, it used to be a bunch of farmland. Owner raped and killed a mother, and later his son, around post-colonial time or something, let's say 1800s. Since then, a dark-shaped figure, very tall, has wandered the streets. Fast forward to the 2000s. Story of neighbours that come late at home from work about the tall figure. Dogs always barking at night, then whimpering. This was because they would see the shape and then whimper once it approached them. Some neighbours that are males would tell us how they feel like being asphyxiated. Only target adult males. Then there's the night the entire place had to say fuck it and call a priest or something. It was around 2004 or 6. Neighbour wakes up, dogs barking. Go outside. See figure has one of his 2 dogs by the neck. Tall, more than 2 meters tall in fact. Figure holding his dog. Shape disappeared on the instant. Next day they called the priest and do more research. In theory, I think it's the mother, no doubt, because the kid is fucking around somewhere else, and the little cunt played in our house while we were gone sometimes. What?
What the fuck? I don't know where the fuck this one went. But, I feel like, what this one would work very well as? So you want to do is you want to make like a revenant or a ghost of sorts as an enemy, and you just want to fuck with the players and make it like immune to everything and just like torture them. Like, don't give them a minute. Like, just show up, run away, chase them all about the place, make them completely useless, and then, maybe at the very end you can give them some way of defending themselves, or they escape, or they die horribly. And make sure at least 2 of the people are ERPing at the table, because they definitely die first.
Yeah.
Like any good horror game.
Growing up in Baltimore, Maryland, most scares here involved muggings and murders. But there's one place of historical significance that serves as a breeding ground for many paranormal stories. Fort McHenry, a military base built on a peninsula at the mouth of the Chesapeake Bay during the late 1700s. Fort McHenry has seen a lot of action over the past couple of centuries, most well-known event being the Battle of Baltimore during the War of 1812, a 24-hour-long holdout against the British Royal Navy after they had just captured Washington DC and practically burned it to the ground. Our national anthem was written about this battle by a man who had watched it unfold before his very eyes, on top of being the location of one of the most pivotal battles to ever take place on American soil. Fort McHenry has also served brief stints throughout history as a hospital and a prison. You would hear stories all the time about ghost sightings and strange occurrences all over there. Apparitions of 19th century soldiers patrolling along the fort's raised walls, grieving twisted spirits of those who died in confinement or were executed within the fort's walls. Sounds of distant artillery and sudden wafts of sulphuric odour. I remember one story in particular about a hostile spirit who would frequent the women's restrooms and would throw shit at people who had their backs turned. Literal shit?
Let's hope not.
The National Park Service that looks over the place even took advantage of these stories by offering ghost tours at some point, parading people around the fort at night telling the most popular ghost stories. I've been to Fort McHenry multiple times during the day, and I can't corroborate any of these stories myself, but that's usually how these things go.
For me, this has given me very Dead Marshes.
Yeah.
I feel like any battlefield in any fantasy setting has to be haunted to a certain extent.
Yeah.
You kind of want to give that extra spookiness level. One thing I always kind of wondered about like ancient battles is how long do the bodies stay on the battlefield for?
God knows.
Like how long is it before...
Until it's cleared. Do they clear it?
It depends. Well, is it farmland? I don't think they use farmland all that often.
But isn't like Gettysburg's meant to be like one of the most haunted places?
Oh yeah,
in the
insane.
world. Like it's insane. Like the amount of evidence people get from there is unreal. Like they get like full apparitions, so like soldiers walk in and like American soldiers walking with their guns.
It makes sense to make like old battlefields haunted though, because
like people are like, okay, let's make this place haunted.
Okay, you get where I'm going.
Let's switch on the haunted.
turn the dial up to get the shit pants and sphere. But no, I think that's where we're gonna end it. I really hope some of these will help you work out your own spooky, adventures. Look, it's October, guys.
Shot coming up to Halloween.
You gotta do something spooky with the boys. At least try something spooky. At the very least, make like a shitty Scream knockoff.
Yeah.
Have fun with it, play about with it. Just terrify the pants off them, and who knows?
Yeah.
It could lead places. But Megan, you've got a few stories. We've actually told some of these before, so we have. Remember the one about your granda?
With a dog?
No, well, with the dog and the poker.
Yeah, that
with cards. Is that the one with the dog? Go on, tell that one, because that's a good one.
It was my great granda.
This was like in the 1920s, wasn't it, or was it later?
No, 1920s. It was like.
Yeah.
He was a gambling man, and he went to the bar and he gambled and he had a few drinks, but he also cheated. One night.
Cheated on his cards?
Cheated on his cards. And on the way home that night, there was a black dog that followed him. And the dog had... no, he may have been drunk.
He was steaming, let's be serious.
But there was a black dog following him with red eyes. And the dog kept... Anytime he turned around to look at the dog would be closer on his heels. And then my granda ended up running home. And he got to the door, and as he got to the end of... the driveway leading up to the house, the dog burst into flames behind him, and he didn't see what came after that. He ran towards the door and fell through the door and started screaming about a dog. And my great granny ran outside with my nanny, and my other great aunts and great uncles were in the house, and ran outside, and there was nothing outside.
Yeah.
But my granny, who's still alive, says she smelled smoke.
Oh, that's interesting. And she still is very superstitious about playing cards in particular.
Oh yes, because I remember I was playing cards with my granda, and I was only like 4 or 5, and I hid like a card under the table to play, and my granny nearly battered me. Said, "Don't you ever cheat at cards, because the devil will come and get you."
Makes sense. Makes sense. But yeah, if you yourself have any weird, spooky apparitions, you get what I'm on about. If you guys have ever encountered anything more on the spooky side, if we get enough good ones, we'll do a video on them. But if you guys have ever came across anything like this, I do feel like these are like great ways to pull in inspiration for like a bit of world building, a bit of a spooky night. You know, something make the most of it. You know, I feel like what's the harm in it?
Yeah.
But,
spooky season, guys. Halloween is coming. It's the best time of the year.
Yeah, but look, we just wanted to do something a bit spooky, do something from X. I'm gonna have a wee look about on X, but
see if there's anything else to get our spooky juices flowing.
Let's be serious. X is 99% of the time schizo posting.
Yeah,
so it's not. So it's not really something that you can
like. You go on to it, and it's like the energies of the Earth have collided with everything.
The black star and Jupiter.
Yes, I'm like,
fuck's sake, guys. But you get where I'm trying to go with that. But look, hope you guys enjoyed this one.
Yes, and as always, check out the links down below to the models, the subclasses, all that good shit. Hit subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified every time we post a video. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye!